Hello, hello. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Hello, hello. Thank you for your comment. Thank you. I think it's okay. It's been a while to do study with me stream. I think it's like the last time I did was like a month ago. I was too lazy to do. But first, let me do the intro first. Okay. So in this stream, I'll be reading English sentences and learning new vocabs. And whenever I come across a word which I don't know the meaning, I'll look it up and read some example sentences to understand it better. For the first 10 minutes, I'll review words from previous sessions, and for the next 40 minutes, I'll focus on new vocabs. Okay, so let's start from review time. Review time. Hold on. Let me do this and this. Okay. Let's do it. First one, conventional. 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 What is it? Convention. Convention. Traditional and ordinary. Convention. It's awesome how Ben challenges conventional wisdom by going his own research. His taste in music is pretty conventional. He likes all the popular songs. Traditional and ordinary. Ooh, I forgot about the meaning already. Still learning. Administrative. Administrative. It means some kind of some works that is related to administrative. It's like something like setting schedules, approving some documents, or administrative. Yeah, some kind of that kind of works relating to the arrangement and work that is needed to control the operation of a plan or organization. I spend so much time on administrative tasks during the day that I usually don't get around to doing actual work until I get home. She handles all the administrative tasks like scheduling meetings and managing office supplies. Managing schedules, supervising staff for clerical works, handling office budgets, organizing meetings and events, making decisions or coordinating projects, managing office resources. Good. Paved the way. Paved the way means to make something possible, I think. So you can say, my teacher's advice paved the way of my career. Can I say that? If something paves the way for something else, it makes the other thing possible. It's completely up to you to pave the way for your own career. Education and training can pave the way for career advancement. Good. Weaves. Weaves. It means How do I explain this word? Weebs. It's like, I know it's in Japanese. Amu in Japanese. But I don't know how to explain this one. Weebs. Did you create the blue cat yourself? Yes. I made this model by myself. How do I look? Weaves. Let's see. To form something from several different things, or to combine several different things in a complicated or skilled way. I've been told that this shirt is really expensive because it was woven in Italy using some special technique. He kept weaving in and out of traffic, but he still couldn't get much farther ahead. To form something from several different things, or to combine several different things. I'm gonna put it no. Endangerment. Endangerment. Or endangerment.
Endangerment.
Endangerment. Endangerment. Endangerment. Endangerment. Ooh, what was it? I forgot. To expose to danger. Leaving a baby in a hot car is considered child endangerment. He got arrested for reckless driving and endangerment of others on the road. His actions were careless and led to the endangerment of everyone around him. Endangerment. Still learning. Take something in stride. Take something in stride. It means to deal something calmly. So you can say, I'm always impressed that he take problems in stride. To deal with a problem or difficulty calmly and not to allow it to influence what you are doing. I admire how he just takes everything in stride. When you become a politician, you soon learn to take criticism in stride. Good. Far-reaching. Far-reaching. I think it means something like a big impact. Something that has a big impact. Far-reaching problem. Far-reaching problem is like very huge problem, so that you cannot reach the solution. Far-reaching. Something far-reaching has a great influence on many people or things. These new laws will have far-reaching benefits for all working mothers. Climate change is a global issue with far-reaching consequences for future generations. The invention of the smartphone had far-reaching impacts on how we communicate. Far-reaching. I think it's fine. Enacted. Enacted. It means to perform something on a stage, but it also means enact. When you say enact the policy, it means the policy is in the action. To put something into action, especially to make something law. In the context of the sentence above, it's the sentence from the sessions, it can be interchangeable with perform. The company decided to enact a policy that allows employees to work from home on Fridays. The school drama club will enact a scene from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet at the talent show. Good. Perception. 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 What was it? Perception. 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 Is it kind of similar to the word expectation? Perception or perspective. Perception. I think it's related to the word perspective, but I cannot explain it. How you interrupt something, a belief or opinion, often held by many people and based on how things seem. Perception is about how we see or understand something as it is now or in the past. There is a perception that Adam's a slacker, but he's really just efficient. The movie was boring, but maybe that's just my perception. His perception of the situation is totally different from mine. Perception. How you interrupt something. Perception is about how we see or understand something as it is now or in the past, by many people and based on how things seem. There is a perception that Adams are slacker, but he's really just efficient. Okay. Still learning. Okay, last one. Distribution. Distribution is the amount that is how do I say it? Distribution. Distribute. The amount that is spread equally. Distribution. Ooh, I cannot come up with an example. Distribution. 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 Ooh, let's see. The process of giving things out to several people or spreading or supplying something. So it doesn't have to be equal. I worry that the distribution of wealth is becoming increasingly uneven. He'll distribute the tickets to each of you, so please wait in line. He'll distribute the tickets. I think I'm okay. Okay. Let's finish the review time here. And let's move on to the chapters. Here. So in the last stream I did, I think, 2 chapters from 17 to 18. So we're gonna do it from chapter 19. Hopefully 3 chapters, but we'll see. Let me see the book. Okay, chapter 19. Chapter 19 is about intellectual property law. Sounds difficult. Okay, first sentence. Intellectual property law exists to encourage innovation and creativity and to protect copyright, patents, and trademarks. I forgot how to pronounce this one. Patent.
Patents.
No. Patents. This is British one.
Patents.
Oh. American accent is patents.
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 Patents. Patents. Is it more like D sound instead of T sound?
Patents.
Patents. sounds like D, but I think it's T. Patents. Intellectual property law exists to encourage innovation and creativity and to protect copyright, patents, and trademarks. Intellectual means relating to your ability to think and understand things, especially complicated ideas. It's pretty hard to have an intellectual conversation with somebody as stubborn as Warren. This job is very easy and not that bad money-wise, but it's not that intellectual stimulating. Intellectual. Is it the adjective of the word intelligence? Are intellectual and intelligence related? Yes, intellectual and intelligence are definitely related. Both come from the same root word about the mind and thinking, but they are different parts of speech and have different meanings. Means the ability to learn, think, understand, intelligence, and solve problems. It's something you have. Intellectual is adjective, means related to thinking, learning, or the mind. It describes something mental or smart. He enjoys intellectual conversations. That movie was too intellectual for me. To focus on ideas or complex thinking is a noun. Means a smart person who enjoys thinking and learning. So it can be noun too. Okay. It's pretty hard to have an intellectual conversation with somebody else. これも追加しておくか。Intellectual. Patents. Patents means the official legal right to make or sell an invention for a particular number of years. You should apply for patents or if you don't want your idea stolen. So it's different from copyright, right? Copyright is 著作権 and patents means 著作権と特許か。patents 特許。I don't really know the difference between patents and what was it? Copyright. Patents, copyright. 特許と著作権。Well, I will Google it later. Okay. Patents, intellectual. Next sentence. Recently, with the advent of globalization of commerce, the law's fundamental principle that the scope of such rights is limited only to the state that grants them, and therefore that the rights granted by one state and independent of the rights granted by another is being questioned. Now, this one is a complicated sentence. Recently, with the advent of globalization of commerce, the law's fundamental principle that the scope of such rights is limited only to the state that grants them, and therefore that the rights granted by one state are independent of the rights granted by another is being questioned. So it's saying basically if you get the if you get the copyright in one state, it doesn't work in another state. I think, right? Advent. Advent means the arrival or beginning of something significant or noteworthy, often making an important change. The fact of an event happening, an invention being made, or a person arriving. Arrival or coming of something significant or anticipated. The advent of cheap flights over the last few years has really changed where I go on vacation. Life was transformed by the advent of the steam engine. Okay. Grants. Grant. To give or allow someone something, usually in an official way, similar to give, but more official. I have finally been granted a visa. And an amount of money given, especially by the government, to a person or organization for a special purpose. A local authority grant. 給付金とかだよね。Grant. Okay. Recently, with the advent of globalization of commerce, the law's fundamental principle that the scope of such rights is limited only to the state that grants them, that give them, and therefore the rights gave by one state are independent of the rights gave by another is being questioned. So the thing that is being questioned is that rights that the rights granted by one state can work in another state. I think that's the question. Let me see it.商取引のグローバル化が到来したことで知的財産権が適用される範囲は権利が付与される国に限定され、ある国によって付与された権利は他国では通用しないという知的財産権の基本原則が問題視されている。Got it. Rights granted by one state. これちょっとむずいのが。When you say the rights granted by one state, it means the rights that is given in one state. Yes, you're exactly right. The rights granted by one state means the rights that are given or allowed by one country or government. Let's break that part. The rights granted by one state are independent of the rights granted by another. This means the rights what one country gives you are separate from the rights that another country gives you. Let's say you have business lines or license or patents in country A. That doesn't automatically means you have the same rights in country B, because each country or state grants its own rights separately. Granted by one state, given by one state. Here could be things like legal protection license, patents, or permissions. Right? Granted by one state, given by one state. The rights given by one state. You don't have to say the rights that is granted. Great observation. Should it be the rights that is granted or the rights that are granted? The rights that are granted. Incorrect, the rights that is granted. Right is, no, that's not my question. I mean, instead of saying wait. The rights granted by one state You're asking if it's okay to say the rights granted by one state instead of the rights that are granted by one state. Yes, both are correct, but here's the difference. The rights that are granted by one state, this is the full formal version. It uses a relative cause with that are. The rights that are granted by one state may not apply in another. The rights granted by one state, this is a reduced relative clause. It's shorter but still correct. It removes that are for simplicity and flow. This is very common in formal writing. That is granted. The passive tense can be removed. In many cases, the passive voice in relative clauses can be reduced or shortened, but not completely removed. Okay. You're not removing the passive tense completely. You're using a reduced form of the passive voice in a relative clause. Okay. The rights that are granted by one state, that are granted, means passive voice plus relative clause. Right is the object receiving the action. The rights granted by one state, still passive, but shortened. You just drop that are to make it more concise. This is still passive because granted is a past particle and the subject rights receives the action. You can reduce this. Noun plus that is are plus past particle. Past participle. Noun plus past participle. But note, this only works when you're using passive voice. The clause is now non-essential and can be made shorter with confusion. The rights granted sounds like the rights is an subject that is taking an action, which is grant. That past tense. Does it make sense? And you're almost right to feel confused. Let's carefully break it down. The rights granted by one state is actually passive, even if it looks like the subject is doing the action. Why? Because granted is a past participle, not a past tense verb in an active sentence. Passive sentence structure. In passive voice, the subject receives the action, not does it. The rights granted by one state means the rights that are granted by one state means one state grants rights, and those rights are received. So, rights, the thing being granted. Granted, past participle, used in a reduced passive clause. Even though there is no R in the rights granted, it is still passive because the verb granted is past participle, not a simple past tense verb. The action is being received by the rights. Isn't granted past participle? Granted is a past participle, and that's exactly why it can be used in passive voice construction. Past participle in the form of a verb used in perfect tense, passive voice, reduced relative clause. むずっ。So how can I tell that granted is passive voice or past tense? Past participle. Past participle is a form of a verb, like granted, taken, written, eaten. Passive voice is a sentence structure where the subject receives the action, often using a past participle. So, all passive voice uses a past participle, but not all past participle are in passive voice. Let's look at granted in both situations. You usually see a be verb plus past participle, is granted, was granted, are granted, structure be plus granted. The license was granted yesterday. Past participle used in other ways. Sometimes the past participle stands alone, like in reduced clause, perfect tenses, or adjective phrases. The rights granted by one state are not valid in another. Okay, they have granted. Want to try a couple examples together with a big bold fonts? No. I'm gonna just leave it here. Okay, next one. As transporter digital transmissions of domestically produced content can occur instantly, it is not feasible to regulate intellectual property under the current system. Ooh, it's difficult. As transporter. Wait, I think it's a typo. As transporter. Oh, it is not a typo. Transporter. Transporter. It is a word. Okay. As a transporter, digital transmissions of domestically produced content can occur instantly. It is not feasible to regulate intellectual property under the current system. And I took a note. What does it say? Digital transmission that cross international borders. Domestically produced content の transporter digital transmissions が瞬間的に起こり得る。domestically produced content の transporter digital transmissions が瞬間的に起こり得る。Digital transmission that cross international borders. Transmissions, the process of broadcasting or sending out something by radio or television, on the internet, etc., or something that is broadcast or sent out. Is any amazing? What is this? Is any amazing that we can? Isn't it? I think it's a typo. Isn't it amazing that we can get live transmission from Mars? Transmission. I think I'm gonna highlight this one. Transmission. The process of broadcasting or sending out something by radio, television, or the internet. On the internet. Domestically. Domestically means like domestic is if something is produced domestically, it means something is produced by inside the country, right? To bring animals or plants under human control so that humans may use them, as food or power or as friends. Domestic. Wait. I think that's the to bring animals. Domesticate. そっか、domestic. Wait. Yeah, relating to a person's own country. Domestic. Belonging or relating to the home, house, or family. A fight or attack that happens in a home between people who know each other. Domesticate is a little bit different from domestic. To bring animals or plants under human control in order to provide food, power, or company. Dogs were probably the first animals to be domesticated. そっか. Okay. Oops. Wait. Why can I not do this? Okay. It took a while for the stray cat to fully domesticate and feel comfortable indoors. I'm trying to domesticate my wild garden by planting more manageable plants. Okay. Domesticate. domestically produced content. Wait. Domestically? I think it's different, right? Domestically. Inside a particular country rather than in another country. This is what I meant. So I was right. I'm just gonna remove this one. Domestically produced means produced inside a particular country rather than in other countries. Can occur instantly. It is not feasible. I forgot this one. Feasible means able to be made, done, or achieved, similar to achievable. Do you think it's feasible to do a day trip from Paris to London? With the extra resources, the project now seems feasible, achievable. Okay. It is not achievable to regulate intellectual property under the current system. So now domestically produced content can be transmitted to other country instantly. It is not feasible to regulate intellectual property under the current system. ってことだよね。Digital transmissions that cross international borders. So the globalization of the content, domestic content, it means, I guess. Okay, last sentence. Some people advocate that this could potentially be solved by the harmonization of law, namely the creation of common international standards to address issues, but others disagree. むずい。Some people advocate. I think advocate means support. Some people advocate to publicly support or suggest an idea, development, or way of doing something. This professor is advocating a vegan diet. Okay. So some people support that this could potentially be solved by the harmonization of law, namely the creation of common international standards to address issues, but others disagree. Namely, specifically, used when you want to give more detail or be more exact about something you have just said. I have visited the biggest cities in Italy, namely Rome, Florence, and Venice. Namely, specifically, the creation of common international standards to address issues. To address. I thought address means like address, express or propose. To deal with a particular problem or need. Can you please address this issue as soon as you can? Let's address the concerns raised by the customers and improve our service. In this sentence, does the word address mean solve? What is this? Altruism. mean solve? Very close. Does not exactly mean solve. In this context, address means to deal with, respond to, or take action toward a problem, not necessarily solve it completely. The company is trying to address climate change. The company has solved the issue of pollution. Deal と一緒か。Then what's the difference? Then what's the difference between deal and address? Address and deal with are very close in meaning. Both are about responding to a problem or issue. So, in some cases, they are interchangeable, but I need to deal with this mess at home. I need to address this mess at home. Sounds too formal or strange. So it's just a level of formality, I think. More formal, more casual. Okay. So some people support that this could potentially be solved by the harmonization of law, especially the creation of common international standards to deal with the issues, but others disagree. Okay. Intellectual patents, advent grounds, transmission, feasible, advocate, namely, and address. Got it. Oh wait. Chapter 19 is done. Okay. Next one, chapter 20. Wait, it's already 10:50. Ooh, let's do this chapter quickly, hopefully. Okay, first one. International law. Wait. Chapter 20 is about international law. Let's do it. International law mainly dictates the legal responsibilities of states in their conduct with each other and the treatment of people within their boundaries. Okay. International law mainly dictate means to give orders or tell someone exactly what they must do with total authority. What I have for dinner is usually dictated by what's in my fridge already. The budget constraints dictated our choice of vacation destination. 制限するってことかな Dictates. To give orders or tell someone exactly what they must do. What is it in Japanese? Dictates. Dictate. 決定する、規定する、命令する。Okay. So, is it interchangeable with the word decide? To give orders. I think decide is more general, but dictate means more specific. to give orders, specifically to give orders, or tell someone exactly what they must do. Mainly dictates the legal responsibilities of states in their conduct. Conduct means behavior. I wonder why her conduct at work has been so unprofessional lately. Behavior. In their behavior with each other and the treatment of people within their boundaries. Treatment of people within their boundaries. Let me see the translation. 国家間の行為や国境内の人々の処遇に対する国家の法的責任を定めたものである。It is difficult to understand even it's in Japanese. 国家間の行為や国境内の人々の処遇に対する国家の法的責任。In their behaviors with each other and the treatment of people. Responsibilities and treatment of people within their boundaries. I think I got it, but it's kind of hard to understand it. Next one. One of the standing problems in international law is the notion of state. How do I pronounce this one again? Sovereignty, which is simply put the idea that all states are equal and one nation cannot dictate the actions of another. Okay. One of the long-standing problems in international law is the notion is 概念, right? A belief or idea. Notion is often more informal and intuitive than concept. Notion of state sovereignty, the power or authority to rule. A state is comprised of 4 elements: government, territory, population, and sovereignty. Talks are being held about who should have sovereignty over the island. Sovereignty. 権威ってことかな？違うね。主権。Sovereignty. 主権。Sovereignty. I don't think it is a daily conversation word. Sovereignty. 主権。Should I put it? Sovereignty. Well, might as well. I'm gonna put it in the list. Is the notion of state sovereignty, which is simply put means to put it easily in simple terms. Simply put, we just need to get everything done by the end of the day. Which is, simply put, simply saying the idea that all states are equal and one nation cannot dictate the actions of another. Notion of the state sovereignty がってことだよね。The long-standing problem is the notion of state sovereignty.「国家主権の概念」So the state sovereignty is the is no. State sovereignty means that all states are equal ってこと。Okay. Simply put, to put it easily in simple terms. Okay, next one. Because of this underlying concept, no universally accepted authority to enforce international law exists. Countries can therefore choose not to follow international law or even to breach their treaties. Okay. Because of this underlying concept. Underlying means like underlying. Something that is not seen but exists. Underlying. Something hidden or not immediately obvious but essential to understanding a situation or problem. The underlying issue in their relationship was a lack of communication. The underlying message of the movie was about the importance of family. Because of this underlying concept, no universally accepted authority to enforce international law exists. So, there is no country that is supreme, right? So nobody can enforce international law. Countries can therefore choose not to follow international law or even to breach. Breach means like break the law. Their treaties. Oh, I think treaties means someone who made a crime? Treaty. A written agreement. It's different. A written agreement between two or more countries, formally approved and signed by their leaders. The US has tax treaties with a number of countries. Treaties. なんだ？条約とか、条約か。Countries can therefore choose not to follow international law or even to breach their treaties, which is not supposed to be a written agreement between two or more countries. Okay. Okay, last one. In addition, international disputes is like a war or argument, can be submitted to the International Court of Justice only by mutual consent of the parties, and can still be voted if the dispute is in relation to a permanent member of the Security Council. むずい。In addition, international disputes can be submitted to the International Court of Justice only by mutual consent. Mutual means like mutual consent is like both agreed on submitting the issue, right? Mutual is like each other. To allow submit means to allow another person or group to have power or authority over you, or to accept something unwillingly. Submit. Can be submitted. I think this is different meaning in this context. Submit just simply means to how do you say, send? Only by mutual, feeling the same emotion or doing the same thing to or for each other. He doesn't like me, but it's fine because the feeling is mutual. Rico and Bob were mutually attracted to each other, so the love wasn't one-sided. Mutual. But I think I'm gonna put it in the list. By mutual consent of the parties and can still be voted if the dispute is in relation to a permanent member of the Security Council. Kyohiken. Oh, it's not voted. How do I pronounce this one? Vetoed? Vetoed. Still be vetoed. To refuse to allow something. It's your birthday, so you can veto whatever venue we choose. In theory, of British government could use its veto to block this proposal. Veto. If the dispute is in relation to a permanent member of the Security Council. 常理理事国が紛争当事国である場合は拒否権を行使される可能性もある。That doesn't sound fair though. Okay. Dictates, conduct. Sovereignty, simply put. Treaties. Mutual and veto. Conduct. Okay. Chapter 20 is done. Nice. Okay, so let's finish here for now. Next, chapter 21, chapter 22. Let's say I do 2 chapters in a stream. So it's gonna take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more streams, then I complete the chapters. Okay. Okay, I'm so hungry. Let's finish here. Okay. So thank you for watching. I think I'm gonna do Study With Me stream next week. Hopefully Monday or Tuesday or Thursday. So if you liked it, please subscribe to my channel and visit me again. Thank you for watching and see you in the next stream. Bye bye. Thank you for your comments too. Bye bye. Wait, let me wave my hand. Bye.